So happy to see you now in this beginning of 2022. And I'm inviting you to a journey that will last the whole year to practice every week some simple, easy, effective practices to develop our inner resources. And they will be sometimes working with our body, with our mind, with our spirit, and then also understanding that they are interconnected, like classical yoga tells us, and Qigong, and also neuroscience. Neurosciences work with your mind to change your brain. So with your attitudes, your understandings, your intentions and attention, you can create new synapses in your brain, new pathways to counteract the negative tendencies that you might have had before, and to create other tendencies and inner resources that you want to cultivate. So there is lots of studies that show that with our mind, with our attention and intention, we actually physically influence our brain, our nervous system, and the functioning of the rest of our vital organs. And that creates a state of inner tranquility, if that's what we are practicing, that in turn also, we feel that greater tranquility, and then that also helps us to keep remembering how do we want to work with our mind. So it's like a continuous strip. The mind changes the brain so that new brain nervous system state inside also help us to remember what we want to cultivate in our way of being or becoming. And you might say, but that's so huge. Where do I start? Or that's so big. How do I know that I can do it? And so as we are now in the beginning of the year, I would like for us to start contemplating certain perspectives and attitudes that are going to support us in this process of developing inner resources and embodying what we want to see in our life. I titled our meeting today, Catching Up with Your Life in 2022. And the idea behind that is that often we have some deep longings and visions or intentions of how we want to be and to become, but somehow we keep postponing it, like if we are going to live forever. And it often happens when people come to the last minute that they regret that they didn't cultivate more what they wanted to manifest in their life, or that they didn't have better relationships, or taking more time for really discovering their potential and nurturing it. So I am inviting you to, without feeling overwhelmed, just little step by little step, trying to find out what is that you want to cultivate during this year. And also, as we are in the beginning of the year, we can also look back to 2021 and some of the things that we learned there, or some of the inequalities or any qualities, any experiences that we are bringing forth that we want to keep developing and nurturing, and others that we might want to just let go. And of course, the beginning of the year is an arbitrary thing, in the sense that we said, okay, now this year finished, now this year starts. It's just something that we created. But why not? Why not use this beginning of the year, like through thousands of years, other cultures also have looked at it, and see it as an opening for renewing ourselves and reminder of bringing forth what we want to see in our life. In fact, the name of the month, January, comes from the god Janus, who is a god that has like two faces or two foreheads, and he looks to the past and he looks to the present and the future. Doesn't have three, but one looks at the past and the other looks to the present and the future. And is the god of portals, of entrances. And of course, portals are also entrance and exit, right? And the word janitor comes also from that root of Janus, the god of portals, or the person that has to do with the what are we going to let in, what are we going to let out, how do we carry out the things that are not useful anymore, how do we welcome new materials for keep building ourselves, etc. The good news is that this year January has 5 Saturdays. So if you miss the previous Saturday, no problem. We are just beginning again today. And we have 4, including today, 4 different sessions where we are going to be doing this transition. Because sometimes people think of, okay, I want to have my New Year resolutions by the 1st or by the 6th, but it's still a transition. So we still want to take our time to look back and to look forth and to give ourselves practice and encouragement to put the basis so that the rest of the year we can keep practicing and keeping these commitments to whatever we want to cultivate. And for that, several principles that we need to keep in mind is one is start with a humble beginning. And that's something that we also did in my school in India when I went there for a whole year to learn classical yoga with other people that were training there to teach yoga in India. And they were always telling us, just start with a humble beginning. Don't immediately want to stand on your head or think that you will achieve peace like this or whatever. Just be patient with yourself and start with little steps, because if you start with little steps, even something that seems so small that, it doesn't seem to amount to anything. But if you commit to that little step every day, then even if you are tired or if you don't have much time or if there are other upsetting things that are coming up, you know that you would do that. And for example, we are going to practice a practice of centering and meditating that can be done in 1 minute or 3 or 5, however many minutes you want to give it. And know that even when the things are going bad, you will dedicate that 1 minute, if at all possible. If not, don't flagellate yourself, but you will dedicate that minute because it's so small, you can give it a minute, even if you don't feel like doing it, right? So one would be the meditation that we're going to do right now. Another example, for example, for me, I love this. Now that's winter, it's cold and I feel cold in the bed. And so I have noticed that when I do massage my body with an Ayurveda oil and do the whole massage and go with the joints and different parts, the vital organs, the tummy, whatever, and then I take a warm shower, I feel like I sleep like a baby. But often it happens that I have had a long day and it comes to the end and I have been planning to do that and I just don't feel like it. So, but I have noticed that there is something that I would do, and is fill a bucket with warm water and Epsom salts and put my feet there and massage my feet and my hands and get the feet and the hands warm. And then I go into the cold bed and I don't feel the cold so much. So it's not the whole massage, but it's something so small. It takes like 5-10 minutes. That it makes a difference. And that sometimes I go, I know I won't do this whole massage, but come on, you do the feet massage, right? And then your feet won't become so cold at night and whatever. So partly is remembering what we don't want to experience, like the very cold feet during the whole night, or the carrying the being upset, even if there is, some real reason that's making us upset, with fear or with anger or with deep grief or whatever, doing the little bit that we can to see if we can at least relinquish and let go of some of it and start to create a little bit of inner peace. So I'm inviting you today to, on the one hand, start identifying what is it you want to cultivate, and why do you want to cultivate it? What are the negative consequences that are when you don't cultivate this? And also, what are the positive motivations that you experience when you practice even a little bit of it? And then choose a minimal habit that you could practice, and then experiment during this week until we meet next Saturday with bringing that to your life. If you, for example, say, well, I want to bring more exercise in my life. Okay, and you think, oh, I would love to run for 20 minutes, or I would love to go for an hour walk or whatever. Okay, just plan a 1 minute walk, a 5 minute walk, whatever is really doable, and whatever you would do, even if you at some point are not totally inclined, but you said, I'm not going to give up on this, right? Because that's the essential moment when you have started something or are about to start something. There is a moment where either you have the inertia because you haven't started yet and it seems so big that you don't start it, you keep somehow longing for it but postponing it, or you have started and we're going well and then something really major happen and makes you give it up, and then you feel bad because you're not doing the 20 minutes or the 30 minutes or whatever, and one day passes and another day and you just let go of it. So if you are able to identify that really small portion of which you can practice, and you go to that, doing it every day a little bit, it will eventually move you to do more. But don't have expectations. I guess the basic thing is lower your expectations and be willing to be, let's say, bad at meditating, but in any case doing it, going through the little experience, because your commitment and your consistency is what's going to create the habit and bring results, and eventually you can develop it more. Okay, so we are going to do one of these mini meditations that's very powerful, where we are combining, on the one hand, a release point, very powerful release point from acupressure and acupuncture. It's called the Sea of Tranquility Point, and you can find it if you find your breastbone and then find the end of your breastbone, so you kind of sense where it finishes, and then 4-finger breath from the end of the breastbone up. You find this point here that's called Sea of Tranquility. It's also the area where we have a major vortex of energy, major chakra, the Anahata chakra, the chakra or vortex of energy that belongs to our heart, how we take things in and how we radiate them out. And it also belongs within the Chinese system to the middle field of the elixir of long life and inner peace. And it's also here. So we are going to sit in a straight position, that's with the spine straight, if at all possible, or any position that feels comfortable for you, and if at all possible, with the chest open and relaxed and the spine straight. And our outer posture also reflects a little bit our inner posture. So it's always good. Another reminder for this week, when you want to feel better, notice what is your posture outside and see if you can straighten it up, elongate it, and also see how that affects your posture inside and vice versa. So they will keep influencing each other. You feel a little bit better, then you straighten yourself more. You remember to keep coming back to it in a natural way. So we sit with the spine straight, the body relaxed. We are going to be using tools that we always have with us, which is this energy in the center of our palms. There are vortexes of energy here and here. And we are going to rub our hands so we feel the warmth of circulation of chi, prana, vital energy, and blood, of course, when we rub our hands. And then we are going to bring one of our hands to that area of the Sea of Tranquility Point, Anahata chakra, middle field of the elixir. We can have one hand there and one hand there and one hand at the lap, like this, or we can have the two hands there. But just the fact of bringing your hand, your palm, towards you already brings you into a sense of being there for yourself. And I like either one hand or the two hands here already gives me this sense of caring for myself, carving a minute to ground myself, to relax, and feeling the aliveness in the hands and the aliveness in the chest. And inhaling slowly, gently, and deeply, like sighing. Feeling how the chest expands and opens to new possibilities. And exhaling through the nose or mouth, whatever you feel most comfortable at the time, inviting the body to relax. You can do this anytime during the day. I love to do it when I just wake up and also before I go to sleep, as a way of coming back home to my heart. You can also practice this whenever you want to calm yourself down, if there has been something that worries you or upsets you. But don't wait for the times when you need it most. Practice it every day. Let's inhale what you want to cultivate in your life, what you want to invite, what you feel that helps you and that is connected to your inner self. So not help from outside, but help for the way we relate to ourselves and the inner strengths we want to grow. Inhaling, inviting inner peace, gratitude, compassion for ourselves and others. You name what's trust. Being good enough. Allowing the situation to be good enough. So we inhale and keep bringing the attention to the sensations in the body. Inhaling like sighing. Sensing the expansion of the chest. And then as we exhale, inviting the body to relax. And if it is easy for you at this time, also inviting the quality. But if not, just working with the body itself. It's enough. Once your body starts to relax, your mind relaxes too. Bringing in those building materials for our well-being, whatever it is that we want to invite and cultivate. Exhaling, letting go of what we don't need anymore. In whatever amount we can let go. We can also inhale through the nose, exhale, feeling the chest expanding, and then exhale, like blowing the air through the mouth. Slowly, gently, gradually. This is a Taoist practice called letting go of the old while you exhale with the barely parted lips, taking in the new, which you are inviting in your life. I find this technique very helpful when I want to calm myself and ground myself. Exhaling whatever I want to relinquish by blowing the air out gently. And when the time comes to inhale, inhaling new possibilities, new clarity, peaceful ways of responding. Knowing that as I work on myself, this is good for my health and for my well-being, and it's also good for others, because when I'm more calm, I'm also kinder to others, and I can support my own processes. Zoom is telling me we have 10 more minutes. So I'm going to practice with you now 2 movements that also embody this process that we are talking about, of looking to the past, to whatever we have learned during 2021 and what we want to develop in 2022, and bringing always to the present, knowing that the present moment, that's when we can work. And again, being patient with ourselves and going incrementally so that we don't create these big plans that then we cannot support, but incrementally and consistently, a little bit every day, okay? So let's see this mindful movement. So we are, on the one hand, cultivating two new senses. The interoception was just a moment ago, how we were feeling and what do we want to cultivate in our ways of being and becoming. And then proprioception, which has to do with our stance towards ourselves and to others, our posture and our movement, our sense of being in the world in a physical way, but it also has effects in our mind and emotions. Let me show you the movements. The first one is one very similar to this idea of the god Janus that looks to the back, to the past, and then comes back to the present to work on it, and looks to the future, to what we want to invite, and comes to the present to work in it. So the movement comes from Qigong, and is we stand with the feet shoulder width apart, body straight and relaxed, the head perfectly balanced on top of the chest, and both of them on top of the abdomen, which is supported by the legs. And then we are going to inhale, bring the hands and arms up to almost shoulder height. And then we bring the elbows down and the hands towards the shoulders. And we look back, let's say to the left, like if we are looking to the past, taking stock and bringing something to the present that we want to cultivate and allow to be grounded in our daily life. And for a moment, we consider the aliveness in the stillness, and from it comes again a movement, very relaxed, very full of presence, where we are inhaling, bringing the hands here, turning the head to the right, like if we are looking to the future, and then bringing the head to the front and exhaling as we contemplate ways of grounding this in our practice, in our daily practice, in simple ways that make it real for us. So let me show you from the side. Inhaling, bringing the hands to the chest, looking to the left, to the past, bringing the head forward, exhaling, allowing everything to ground in the present moment. What is that we want to complete? And then inhaling, bringing the hands to the chest and looking to the future, what we want to cultivate, to become, and bringing that to the present. Okay, so let's do two more as I face you. Inhaling, looking to the past, whatever lessons or inspiration we want to bring from the past, from all the things we have learned in our life. Inhaling, looking to the future, to the longings that we have of how we want to be, how we want to become, and bringing it to the present and letting it be grounded in some practice that we design for ourselves that's doable and easy and pleasant. One last time, inhaling, looking to the past, feeling the opening of our chest, and then looking to the present, bringing that into something we want to cultivate. Inhaling, looking to the future, to the longings we have, the ways we want to be and become, and then bringing that to the present, the place where we really can work with ourselves, and allowing it to be grounded and manifested in little practices that we do every day. So that's the first one. And then the second one is, I love this one too. It's called the white crane spreads its wings. So we inhale, bring the hands and arms up. We are going to bring now the left hand towards the chest as we contemplate what we want to overcome and cultivate new capacities to work with that challenge, opening ourselves to inspiration from the earth and the heavens, the palms. One palm is looking to the earth, the other to the heaven. We feel the opening in our chest, the stretching of our back, and then expanding our wing and taking our flight into what we want to cultivate and manifest, even if it's little things, little steps at it each time. Again, inhaling, contemplating a challenge that we have, some habit that we want to change, we bring it to ourselves, and then we push it away as we exhale. Inhale, opening ourselves to support from the heavens and the earth, as the palms look one to the earth and one to the heaven. Feeling the inspiration, praying if you want for the inspiration, for support from your spiritual allies, teachers, people that have loved you, people that you love, and then spreading our wing and taking a little flights into these ways of being. Again, inhaling, exhaling as we contemplate what we want to overcome, opening ourselves for inspiration as we inhale, and then acting on that inspiration in whatever ways we design, we see possible, doable, pleasurable, a little bit every day.